Hey guys, it's Christy and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to be doing a review and wear test of the Nars Light Reflecting Under Eye Brightener. So before we get into it, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel before you leave. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and let's get into it. Okay, so this has been out since the beginning of June, but I had a couple of you comment in my recent haul video that you'd like to see a full day wear test, so I am so excited to do that. So this is available now at Sephora, and this is the Nars Light Reflecting Eye Brightener. I have the shade Night Swan, which is the lightest. This comes in 5 different shades. This retails for $34 US or 44 Canadian. And this is available now at Sephora. So this is what the jar looks like. So where their original soft matte concealer is also in a little pot, this is made of plastic and it's got the black soft touch lid. The under eye brightener comes in a frosted glass jar and has a white cap. So a little bit different. It's not the soft touch, but this is supposed to have a radiant finish in a cream formula, contain hyaluronic acid. This is supposed to be really hydrating, good for dark circles, and provide a medium coverage. So like any under eye brightener, this can be used on its own on a more no makeup day. You can also use this under concealer or on top. So I am going to be wearing this for about 10 hours today, and I think what I'm going to do is I'll show you what it looks like just on its own. I think on one eye I'll put it under the concealer, on the other eye I'll put it on top, just so you can see the differences and what they each look like, and then I'll check in at the end of the day. I'll show you how it wore, what it looks like, and hopefully this is a hit. So I have worn this already, but I wasn't really paying attention to the wear time. So this is just what it looks like on the inside, very similar to the concealer. Like I mentioned, I have the lightest shade here, so here is just a little swatch. So it is very, very light, and it definitely feels thicker and creamier than the concealer. So let's get into putting this on the face. So I'm just taking a little bit on a finger, smoothing out that under eye. I do want to show you what it looks like without anything else. Okay, so that is patted onto the under eye with a finger. And I think it looks really nice. I think it definitely does have a bit of a brightening effect to it. It blended out super, super easily. I feel like it did definitely correct, but at the same time, I'm still seeing some of my natural texture poking through. It looks very skin-like. It really doesn't look like I have any product on my under eyes, which I love, and it is also very lightweight. I don't actually feel it. So this is what it looks like on its own with no concealer. So now I'm going to put concealer on over top, and then on this eye I'll do my concealer and then I'll put the corrector on over top so we can see any differences. So I am just using the Makeup Forever HD Skin Concealer in 1.1N. I've been testing this one all week and I really, really like it. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit over top. I feel like when you use an under eye brightener or a corrector under your concealer, you can get away with using less product, less concealer, which can sometimes help it to crease a little bit less. However, I did accidentally get a little bit too much concealer. I find this year I've been really, really loving the Natasha Denona concealer. I've been loving the Valentino concealer. They're both just very hydrating. But I recently did a wear test on the Makeup Forever, and it honestly is incredible. It is probably one of the more crease proof. All concealers are going to crease, but this is probably one of the concealers that creases the least of any I've ever tried. Now we have the under eye brightener with the concealer on top. I definitely think it brightens up the area. It adds a little bit of a luminosity, but not too much. I think it definitely helped with coverage, but it still looks very lightweight. It's not making my concealer look creasy or cakey or heavy or anything like that. It's playing very nice with this concealer. It looks really, really nice, and I'm not seeing any creasing. So let's try the other eye. I'm going to put on some concealer, and we actually do have a really nice, bright, sunny day. So I might actually step outside and show you how this looks in natural lighting, and then try to do some check-ins outside, which is really exciting. Okay, so now we have this side with the under eye brightener and the concealer on top. This side just has concealer, and I feel like It's noticeably brighter on this side. It has a little bit more luminosity, but mostly it's just brighter and has a bit more coverage. So it definitely makes a difference. Now I'm going to take a little bit of the brightener on a brush and tap it over top of the concealer. Let's try to tap it in with the finger. I feel like the brush looked a little bit too much product. I'm definitely preferring the side with the eye brightener underneath. I feel like it helped to correct the area, give a little bit of coverage, but also kind of prepped the area. Whereas on this side, I feel like with the eye brightener on top, it looks a little bit too much like product and it doesn't look quite as smooth. So those are just some subtle differences. I don't think you would notice by looking at me up close, but I do think this eye looks noticeably more flawless. I'm just gonna I am gonna set my under eyes. I'm just gonna take a little bit of my Dior Powder No Powder and I'm just going to lightly set. I didn't have any creasing over here yet, which is awesome, which is so nice. When I get really, really up close, the side with the corrector on top somehow looks a little bit dry. I don't want to say dry, but it definitely doesn't look nearly as smooth and flawless as this side. So let me pop off camera. I'm going to do my blush bronzer and then I'll be right back to get the wear test started. Alright, so the rest of the makeup is on. I'm still thinking the side where I applied the brightener first and then went in with concealer looks the best. I do think this looks almost dry. I don't think dry is really the right word, but it definitely doesn't look as smooth and flawless as this side. And if anything, I'm noticing the teeniest, tiniest bit of creasing under here, and I'm not seeing it over here. So just some subtle differences. Again, nothing you're gonna see if you're talking to me or anything like that. It's just something that I can see looking directly in the mirror. So that is it for now. I'm going to go about the rest of my day. I'm hopefully going to get some midday check-ins, especially outside because it is a beautiful sunny day and it's also humid, so it might melt my makeup right off. But I will see you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, so I just stepped outside to show you what the under eye brightener looks like in natural light. It was a super sunny day and now it is looking like it's gonna storm, so the lighting isn't as good as I hoped, but I do still think that this eye looks a little bit brighter than this one, so I'm still thinking this under eye brightener works way better under concealer as opposed to on top. That doesn't bother me at all. That's typically how I use it anyway. And I think I forgot to mention earlier on that I started this wear test around 10 a.m. It is now currently about 12:30, so I'm gonna carry on with the rest of my day, but I will see you guys tonight for the final check-in. Alright, so we are now at the very end of the day. It's about 8:30. So my makeup has been on for about 10 hours. And honestly, there really isn't much change in the under eyes. I still think the eye where I applied the under eye brightener before the concealer, I think that eye still looks more fresh and it just looks better in general. This one looks fine, but on closer examination, it looks a little bit more broken up. So I'm just gonna say, I think this really does a great job. It definitely wears all day long. When you wear it on its own, it gives the under eyes such a fresh, brightened up look, and I think that would be perfect for a no makeup day. If you are wanting to pair it with concealer and use it kind of under your concealer to kind of brighten and correct the under eyes a little bit, I think it does a great job with that. I don't necessarily recommend putting it on top of concealer. I just found that they didn't mesh as well when I did it that way. Another under eye brightener that I really love is the Rare Beauty. And this one I can get away with putting on top of my concealer, but I do also prefer this one underneath. So just know that I think this is a really great under eye brightener. I think the shade Night Swan is perfect if you're on the fair side like me. I am a big fan of Nars to begin with, so I'm really not surprised that I love this. Overall, I think this was very lightweight, very skin-like. It's perfect on its own or under concealer, wears all day long. It does a really great job bringing some life to the under eyes. So I think this is a wonderful under eye brightener. If you're looking for a product like this, I would just recommend either wearing it on its own or under concealer. I wouldn't recommend putting it on top, but overall, I think they did a great job with this one. I'm not surprised. I love it. I think this is fabulous. Let me know down below if you're planning to pick this one up. Did you already? What are your thoughts? I love hearing from you guys. I love hearing what you guys love in addition to what I've been loving. So let me know. That is it for me today. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload at least 3 new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!